Hi folks, Kevin here. Well, today I wanted to, it's May, I think it's May 2nd or May 3rd, I'm not really sure. It's Tuesday, the beginning of May. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on how things are going around here as far as the water management. Recently I posted a few videos on how I'm increasing the efficiency or the effectiveness of the spillways and the swale and drainage systems. The swale systems have worked very well as far as helping to build soil, capturing, slowing, spreading water, and have certainly helped me to build soil and the lack of mowing has also allowed me to capture carbon and build deeper soil. So that's all worked out very well. As a result of the soil increase over the last couple of years, water has been retained in areas where there were minimal problems in the past, but now there's more significant problems. One of my neighbors driving by. So what I'm doing today is I just want to show you the other day, so I'm up by pond 1 behind me here, and the other day I showed you some of the drainage problems, areas that we had problems with, and I've addressed that, and I thought I'd turn the camera around and show you. In the last video I showed you there was pool water retention in this area, and I needed to create a little bit of a drainage swale going in over here into pond 1, and that's worked out well. There was also, I needed to create an additional spillway or drainage swale coming across the driveway here, also going into pond 2, because as I mentioned the last time, geez, in some of these places I really needed to have double ways to handle the overflow during heavy rains. And yesterday we had a big rainstorm come through. There's area flooding all around here, and here's another connection with one of the swales. Now this makes 2 drainage overflows, and you can see it overflowed, and there is a lot of sediment in here because I've been doing quite a bit of work here. The boys going after each other over there. I've been doing quite a bit of earthworks around here, so the soil has really been disturbed in all the driveway areas and down below. Well, my phone just died. So up ahead up here, that's where pond 1 is. And I just showed you 3 small little spillways from the swales, or from the areas where water was pooling. And I started heading down this way and my phone died. Now I'm going to pan over here. Now we just had heavy rains last night. Now that's the horseradish patch. This row right here, I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit. So just on this side of that horseradish patch, this whole area here is where I do the big windrow of composting. And in the previous video I told you I wanted to be able to take whatever rain discharge there is from it. One, you don't want to have your compost pile in a low spot. You want to have it on a relatively high spot. So right after right after a heavy rain, we want to make sure there's no pooling of water there. Of course, water will hit it and it will run off some, and that water will come right down over in this direction here and come into one of the spillways or the drainage paths out of this particular swale here. One second, let me go around here. Sorry for the wobbliness in the video as I move here. My phone with the DJI Mobile actually does a good job of stabilizing the video, and unfortunately I've got to get my phone replaced. So there's the swale here, and you can see it's overflowed. This is over 300 feet long, this one is, and there's multiple connections to it, and as the water exceeds the capacity of the swale, it's going to discharge over the spillway here and make its way down into the next swale, and then it goes into the next swale, and then down into the canal system that captures it. So all around this whole area, this is pond 2. I still have to work further on on the spillway over there. I have to bring a lot of flat rocks over there, just on the other side of those two ducts there. And that needs more work. But as far as water that comes down from that crosses the roadway here, I have a small area here. I'll work on this in the future to make sure it's taken care of, but it drains all the high areas. We're all going down slope here. The roadway is on the other side of those evergreens there. So that's staying pretty dry at this point, which is really important. So this has worked out well. Now I'm going to walk over to another area and show you what we're dealing with. Okay, directly ahead of us is the area where the horseradish is placed. That's the area, the higher spot there. That's where the composting goes. You can see a little bit of a wet spot just in front of it there. And that's where the natural slope of the property, let me back it up a little bit, that comes down from the raised garlic beds and the second food forest trees that we talked about before. And it just passes directly through there, right at the very edge of the composting windrow, and it dives into the swale system. Now right over here, and this is all raspberry bushes, that goes right along the swale system. And I created another break point in the area there to allow this whole area that I'm standing on now to drain out, which required me to actually take some of that extra deep soil. Now this was all gravel bed before, but I had over 6 inches of deep, rich soil which was retaining water because it's sort of a little bit of a depression right in this area. So I pushed all that soil up to the mound on the other side of the swale and created this little breakthrough here through the raspberry bush area, and that goes into the swale. So I'm over here at pond 2. Lots of sediment in the ponds and in the canal systems as a result of all the disruption of soil that I've done, redirecting and recreating the paths for water to flow. You know, decreasing resistance in the areas that I really wanted the water to flow. Okay, I'm down by the road that crosses from the second food forest, or going up to the second food forest, down by the hugelkultur canal system here, and that's the soil capturing canal system. That goes across the roadway down into a little cul-de-sac area, which some of the native species are starting to come back. There's a drainage swale that I did from around the driveway back here to keep it from going across the driveway and feeding into the first food forest area, and that's done well. So all that water comes down across here, goes into the bioremediation canal system that feeds into pond 3. So that's close to where we're going to now. Sorry, I turned off the camera too quick there. So right next to me here are the places where I transplanted. These are the red currants here in this row, and you can see I got the rest of these all mulched up nicely. And then the next row there is the hostaberries or jostaberries, or the pink flowers. And the 2 rows up above, up there, the 2 rows with red flowers, red flags, are the gooseberries. So on the other side of there, there's water that comes down from the woodland right up in there, which I've got to put another pond system up into the woods up in there. I want to put 2 different pond systems, one that's just a seasonal one for all the salamanders and all, and the other one that's more of a year-round pond system. And I'll go over those in videos in the future, but I'm going to head over there next. So here we are looking down this roadway area, an access road getting back. I have 3 different ways of getting back to the first food forest, the sugar shack, the solar panels and all, and this is one of the ways. And every spring this is quite wet. And all this water is coming from the natural woods up in here. Ash, maple, poplar, some beech as well. All this water is draining from that area, and that'll be future videos when I do some work up in those areas. But for right now, it's been coming down here, and it's been soaking the whole roadway over that goes around this pond 3 area. And so there's pond 3 over here, and I'm going to walk down there and show you what I've done. So I have a lot more to do in this area, but that's the water that's coming out of the woodland area, coming down the roadway, but it's all coming from upland up in there. And there's no significant pools there. It's not like there's a stream coming down. It's just all of the soil that's been above the hugelkultur beds that you can't even walk over without your feet squishing right into the area. It's created such an abundance of soil in that area, it's just amazing. But anyways, dealing with this water, I decided to make an entrance canal system here, and I have a lot more work to do with it. That goes into the pond 3. And again, this has been seen in the other video. There's the island here. Wood ducks used to love being here. But this whole area here was all poison ivy, like the rest of the area and all. And so I ended up, and stone walls all in here. So I've been digging out the stone walls and burying them along with the poison ivy. So I may have to let things dry up some more before I get over there and finish up. But the road area goes around the perimeter of this. And one road goes up into the zone 5, the natural wooded areas. And zone 4, the maple forest that we use for tapping the sugar maples. But I want to show you when I excavated down in this area. You can see what the soil type is here, just almost pure sand right down in here. This is all sand around this pond system. Just amazing. And this pond never ever has thought about going dry. It has gone down. Last year we had our worst drought ever, and it probably went down 4.5, maybe 5 feet. Probably 4.5 feet. But that's the worst it's ever been. And then again, this pond feeds back through the bioremediation canals back over to pond 4. So we'll head over there next. Try not to shake the camera here. So we're in the second part of the bioremediation system, canal system, and coming after we pass. So to orient, here's the big part of our zone 1 garden system all throughout this area here. The hugelkultur canal system, the terraced future garden system and canal soil connection system is right over there. Pond 3 and that first gazebo is right over there. And all those gooseberries, jostaberries, and red currants are over there. So now we're right over here, coming into the bioremediation part 2. And I'm coming into pond 4. And there goes a muskrat. So lots of sediment. Sorry about the bounciness here. It's okay, honey. One of the khaki Campbells. So she's on the peninsula there, and lots of sediment you can see in this pond, and pond 4 drains into pond 5 under another access road. So you can see the very beginning of some of the lily pads. Not too far, right there's a lily pad starting to show up. This whole area will be just loaded with lily pads shortly. But this pond had lots of sediment from all of the earthworks I've been doing up above. There's Jezebel. And so we'll go over to where pond 4 here drains into pond 5. So right in this location there's a couple of large subterranean pipes that drain into this pond, and this is pond 5 again. So pond 5 has an island. This is where the khaki Campbells come out. It's right outside of the coop. There's the second gazebo area, and the coop is right there behind. And this pond system here is the one that we have significant problems with it almost drying up, but we've been doing the cardboard patching, sealing up the pond, cardboard and leaves. I know you might be able to see some over there. There's pieces of cardboard there, lots of leaves. And weed material and all that goes down along the banks, and so all that organic material seems to be sealing up the pond fairly well. But this pond will look pretty gross as the water level goes down, and you'll see more of the cardboard as the if we get a drought this year. But last year we had the most severe drought in my lifespan, and this pond did not dry up. So the cardboard sealing seems to be working quite well, and I'm pleased that some of the sediment has made it through. That's why this water's so murky right now. Made it through here, because that may also help to seal up some of the small pores in the system. I'll step to the other side here. Okay, so I'm back here. There's the coop. There's where the greenhouse is going. There's the gazebo there, and the work area. In that area, you see the ducks making their way back down into the pond. And this is again pond 5, the one that we're patching. And this is the overflow, or the spillway, swale, that goes down to pond 6, down beyond the solar panels. Okay, we're taking a look up this drainage swale here. Water's flowing down. It does act like a standard swale system. There are a couple of levels to it, so it does work its way down this way. It comes behind the solar panels here, and part of the raspberry beds over there. And then we've got pond 6. Now this is the one that's dug in just about straight sand, and it's the first thing to dry up every single year. It's leaking constantly. So I'll be readdressing this one in the future. Probably not this year. We'll go over to the other side there, the spillway over there. So here we are, a nice wide spillway that pacifies, doesn't erode the road there that I drive across. And then we narrow it down in so we can make a narrow channel of the water coming down from pond 6, which is the one that goes completely dry, down into pond 7 down there. So here we are back here at pond 7, and this one stays not full but almost full. Even probably only went down maybe 3 or 4 feet during the worst drought last year. This is a driveway area which I have gravel laid on top of the other gravel. That's the natural gravel in this area, so that I can actually drive through it. It's a rather shallow swell there. Then it gets to more of a dip in the road as it spillways into the woods. And I talked about how we're going to create hugelkultur on contour using the brush and materials in the woods to direct the water further through the maple forest in the future. So that's it. I just wanted to show you how well, the adjustments that we've made. I have more adjustments to make in the future to the water management system here on site. Quite a bit more work to do, but I'm pretty happy with how well things are working. Of course, I'm not pleased with all the sediment going into the water, but that's to be expected when you do a lot of earthworks and move a lot of soil, and then you're going to get the big rainfall. So that's it for today, folks. I hope this was somewhat informative. If you have questions or comments, please leave them below. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and please pass it along to your friends. Thanks so much, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye now.